Hey, howdy hey, and welcome back to Emily's Adventures in Horrorland. And I hope everyone watching this had a very proper crimbo. Not that anyone's thinking about Christmas anymore, But I promised to get festive, so here is a festive horror movie.
Surprisingly, I couldn't find very many of these that people had actually heard of. You've got Gremlins, you've got this one for the kids, and you have today's film.
3 things about the DVD cover. Number 1, it claims to be the original stalk and slash movie.
Not sure if Psycho counts.
2, it has this groovy little tagline, if this movie doesn't make your skin crawl,
it's on too tight.
Yeah, fair enough, I'll get that checked out. Number 3, I love this little bit here, Merry Bloody Christmas. I know they're trying to make a pun there, but it sounds to me like something your grumpy auntie would say to Christmas carolers. Ah well, now that our expectations have been raised, let's get stuck in.
We start Black Christmas with the title in a big Yuletide font.
Ooh, I think I'm getting some Home Alone flashbacks.
The serial killer, who shall only be known as Billy, creeps around a sorority house before scaling up the trellis like Miss Piggy in The Great Muppet Caper.
Next time anyone stunts, they get a double.
Next, we get to meet the people inside the house, and most of them are sweary and full of vice.
It's hard to tell at first who our main character's meant to be, but then we find out, oh wow, just look at that hair. So shiny.
The girls are receiving obscene phone calls from Billy, who's pretty good at modulating his voice. Barbara here tells him to shove off, and the next thing we know, her friend Claire goes upstairs and is horribly murdered.
Luckily for Billy, no one hears the struggle, and no one thinks to look for Claire in the attic. Ever.
From that point on, Billy continues to murder sorority girls and other members of the public willy-nilly, and etc, etc, you know how slasher movies go.
Now I've seen 1 or 2 slasher movies at this point, and you can look at my old blog posts for the reviews I did on those.
Normally they're quite predictable. There's a string of unsuspecting victims, a red herring, or 6, a final girl or guy, and a big twist shock reveal, oh my god!
In Black Christmas, we never find out who Billy really is.
The red herring in this case is a neurotic musician called Peter. He's currently seeing Jess, who's just told him that, oh wow.
So pretty. Anyway, Jess has just told Peter that she's pregnant, but doesn't want to keep the baby.
Peter isn't keen on the idea of an abortion, and he expresses himself through song.
Amongst other things.
Aw, dude, don't blame the instrument.
Now I've away and done the research on general attitudes towards abortion in America in the 1970s. From what I've gathered, women were fighting for their rights, and in certain states abortion became legalised, but the procedure was still expensive, frowned upon, and not available everywhere. I mean, even today there's the whole pro-choice, pro-life thing, and it's a kind of touchy subject and a bit delicate, and maybe I shouldn't go there.
But let's put it this way, Jess is adamant that she will not have a child and pass on her genetic material and, by extension, her gorgeous tresses.
Seriously, can I have hair like that? Please? Please? I feel like I've tried everything.
TV Tropes currently paints her as the bad guy for her unwillingness to procreate. Meanwhile, Peter tells Jess that she's selfish, but then says,
I'm quitting the conservatory and we're getting married.
Babe, all I'm asking you to do is to get married to me and shoulder the incredible responsibility of raising a child. I'm not very good at playing piano. All of this is important because Billy references the baby in his phone calls to Jess, repeats stuff from their arguments, and the calls are coming from inside the house.
But the serial killer is not Peter. He's still there at the end of the film.
Of course, I have my own theories about his identity.
For instance, there's a guy knocking around who taps the house phone, and his name is Bill Graham. Wait, what? Bill Graham? Really? Really? So, okay, there's a guy who's brought in to help with the police investigation into a serial killer, and his name is William Graham.
Will the real Will Graham please stand up? Please stand up. Please. Normally at this point I'd tackle the film's scariness, but I've just read an article on bloodydisgusting.com that told me that maybe horror films don't have to be scary.
And this one mostly isn't. In fact, it's quite funny. It's stuff like this.
Ho, 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 shit.
And this. And this.
Could you give me the number at the sorority house?
It's, Fellatio 20880.
It's amusing enough, I guess, but why? Another thing I ought to note is the relative festiveness of the flick that I've chosen.
They do use a lot of red and green. They have seasonal jumpers there, you got the snow, and at one point some carol singers show up to mask the sound of Barbara being stabbed to death with a pointed glass ornament. Nice one.
All in all, I liked this movie. I'm not normally a fan of the old stalk and slash, but this one had just enough plot and character and intrigue to keep me interested. It's certainly a film. For that reason, I give this one 7 jam sandwiches out of 10. Thank you very much for watching and have a happy new year. Cheerio.